Hey class, it's Ashley, and I'm back with another mentoring moment. And today we're kicking off the 30K challenge with a $30,000 sentence. This sentence or statement is what my mentees use to position themselves as experts and is the foundation for securing $30,000 salary increases. I'm Ashley. I'm the lead mentor with Mentor Me, and I'm kicking off the 30K challenge with day one, teaching you a sentence, a phrase, a paragraph, a statement that will position you for a $30,000 salary increase. I'm so excited to kick off this challenge, to teach these skills and to help you really understand what it means to position yourself as an expert and as a professional woman who's committed to using what she has to get what she wants, making more money and having more impact. So I'm so excited to dive in and really talk to you about how to do what is foundational to Mentor Me, which is positioning yourself as an expert, right? Speaking to your skill set as an expert, talking about the work that you do in a way that will actually make employers take notice. And I think that this is the biggest gap that professional women experience when it comes to advancing their careers. They don't know how to talk about what they're good at. And just throw some hearts up on the screen if that's you. If you constantly struggle to speak about what you're good at in a meaningful way, if you constantly are challenged to talk about your work in a way that is actually going to make anybody take notice, if you're always, well, I don't really know, I'm just here to help. If you constantly find yourself downplaying your skill set or not really understanding how to speak to your skill set in a way that actually makes people want to pay you well for your work, just throw some hearts up on the screen. I want to make sure that I'm in the right room, right? And I know that this is something that women in particular are challenged by, Black women specifically are challenged by. We really struggle to speak to our expertise. We are taught to be humble, to be meek, to not say too much, to not be braggadocious, right? We don't want to offend anybody with our brilliance. I mean, I don't know, or whatever. We're well, don't say nothing. You don't want to seem too haughty. You don't want to seem better than. You don't want to seem too good. Girl, seem too good. Seem too good. The challenge is that so many women don't know how to speak to their expertise, which means they end up downplaying their skill set. And of course, nobody's going to pay you well when you can't even speak well to the work that you do, right? And so today, in day one of the $30,000 challenge, we're going to be focused on how to speak to your expertise in a way that's actually going to make an employer take you seriously and actually position you as an expert in the marketplace. And this challenge is really not just about you listening to me and learning from me and being like, oh, Ashley, yes, she dropped gems and attending this live. This challenge is an opportunity for you to leverage the skills that you have to get what you want in your career, right? This challenge is implementable. It's actionable. And my invitation to you, right? My invitation to you is to take this challenge seriously and to immediately apply the things that I'm teaching you in today's live, right? This is not, just an opportunity for you to listen and nod your head and agree with me. This is an opportunity for you to get serious about your career. So if you are serious about your career, if you know that this is something that you're committed to, just type the word "I'm in" in the comment section. I just want to know that you're committed to this, that you're not just going to listen, but you're going to implement the strategies that I'm teaching today. Just type the words "I'm in," space I-N, I'm in. If you're committed to this, if you are serious about growing your career and you want to better understand how to speak to the things that you're already good at to attract high-paying employers and position yourself as a top candidate. So type the words "I'm in" into the chat, and we will go ahead and get started. So what we're starting with today is the Mentor Me I Am statement. This simple sentence, right, the Mentor Me I Am statement, is a sentence that positions my mentees for $30,000 salary increases. This is the first thing that I teach my mentees in the Mentor Me Accelerator. It's in session 1 of the Accelerator. It is foundational to my mentees being able to secure $30,000 salary increases. When you see me, in my story saying, she got the job, she got the job, she got the job. When you hear me screaming and me, going live with my mentees, this strategy that I'm teaching in today's live is foundational to my mentees securing those $30,000 salary increases. And this is a real treat for me to sort of share this publicly in a free or no cost live. So really make sure that you're taking notes, make sure you're actively engaged in today's live so that you can actually then use this strategy in your own career development. So we're going to talk through kind of what the I am statement is, or why it's critically important for career development, and truly the purpose, right? The purpose of the Mentor Me I am statement is to help professional women speak to their expertise and demonstrate outcomes in their work, right? One of the most significant gaps, or the most significant problems, or the reason why you're not getting callbacks when you send out your materials, the reason why you're not making $80, $90, $100, $115, $120,000 is because you're not speaking to the work that you do in a way that makes anybody take notice, right? You're talking about, I help with this thing, and, I support this thing, and, I did this thing, but you're not talking about the outcomes of the work that you've done. You're not talking about the outcome, right? And what I think is often true is that a lot of women don't really feel like they're driving outcomes in their career. You just there so you don't get fined. You just there to collect a check. You just trying to keep your head down so nobody say nothing to you, which means that you end up thinking that you don't have any value, right? You end up thinking that you don't have any value. You end up thinking that you're not doing anything meaningful or measurable. And so when it comes to talk about your work, whether it's in your resume, your cover letter, your LinkedIn, in person, you're like, well, I'm good at this. I kind of think I'm good at this. I've helped with this. You start to downplay your skill sets, and that's detrimental to your ability to be paid well in an industry. Let me repeat that. When you cannot speak to your skill sets, it's detrimental to your ability to make meaningful income in your industry. Right? That is foundational. That's number one. That's why as a mentor, I don't start with resume. I don't start with cover letter. I don't start with teaching you how to interview, because none of that matter if you can't speak about what you're good at. Let me repeat that, because I know a lot of you want to buy a $30 resume template and think that that's going to transform your career. It's not. A $50 resume template, repeat after me, a $50 resume template is not going to transform my career, right? Right? This is why I don't sell templates, right? Because it's not transformative. My mentees secure $30,000 salary increase on a regular. That's the average. That's the average. On average, my mentees secure that, right? Over the course of 3 years, my mentees have earned more than $1 million in salary increases, raises, and promotions. That's not by chance. It's not by happenstance. It's not on accident. It's because I have a foundational framework to helping my mentees make more money and have more impact. And that framework starts with this $30,000 sentence that I'm going to introduce you to today, right? And really, it's about making employers take notice, because you know what matters to employers? What matters to employers is your ability to drive outcomes. They care very little about what you've done, how many degrees you have, how many trainings you've done, how much experience you have. They don't care about none of that. They care about, can you solve a problem, an existing problem that they have in their organization? And have you demonstrated your ability to solve similar problems across the course of your career? And so many of you when you talk about your work, when you talk about your skill sets, when you position your resume, when you introduce your cover letter on your LinkedIn in an interview, you just talk about, well, yeah, I did this and I did this and I have this degree and I have that degree, and no one cares. And it's not because you're not a hard worker. It's not because you're not a team player. It's not because the work that you've done is not valuable. It's because you're not talking about the outcomes. You must talk about the outcomes. And the I am statement teaches my mentees how to talk about the outcomes, how to talk about what's on the other side of just doing something at work. My I am statement teaches my mentees how to talk about the demonstrated experience or the demonstrated expertise of their work. It teaches them how to talk about what they've done and the impact that it had. Write that down. What I've done, comma, and the impact that it had. Most of you, at best, people just say what they did. At better, people say, this is what I did and this is the impact that I had. And in this competitive market, you need to be better. And let me just I said this in a live that I did last week, an impromptu live. It was called my top 3 predictions for the second half of 2022 when it comes to career. If you haven't watched that, go back and watch it. It's so good. And one of my predictions, right? One of the things that I absolutely know is true, and this is actually, it's not really a prediction, girl. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics and already told us. But well, I read it, so you don't have to, right? So I'm going to give you some inside tea here. The Great Resignation is over. The Great Resignation that everybody was talking about in January and February and March, it's over. Right. So if you operating on some great resignation, all these people quitting their job, I need to quit too. And I need, like, if you're operating off that, if that's what's still floating around in your mind, sis, that's over. The unemployment rate has remained stable for the last 90 days. Unemployment is not going down or going up. It's remaining stable, which means the girls are staying in their jobs, which means it's a much more competitive marketplace for you, job seeker. The job market is much more competitive now than it was in February, which is why you should have hired me in February. You've been watching my lives for months. You still ain't took action. But we off that. I'm not going to focus on what you ain't doing. We're going to focus on what you can do. It's okay. But what I'm telling you is, if you have been stalling, if you have been waiting around, if you were trying to see what it is and what it ain't, you've been watching my lives for months. The market in February was so much easier than the market in July. Right? And inflation has gone up significantly. Employers are going on hiring freezes and hiring pauses. It's a much more competitive marketplace now. The Great Resignation is over. This is why it's so important to make sure that you are following contemporary career development strategy, because otherwise you'll be operating off something that happened 4 months ago. And what happened 4 months ago is not today's market. This is also why it's important to take immediate action. Instead of stalling, instead of waiting, instead of, well, let me see, and as soon as this and as soon as that, instead of doing all of that, I invite you to adopt a spirit of immediate action. Because if you would have invested in mentorship in your career in February, you would have entered into a less competitive marketplace than the market that's happening in July, right? That's happening right now. And it doesn't mean that all hope is lost. I'm accepting new mentees right now. You can still work with me. I'm still here to serve you. But I want to start to invite you to start taking immediate action upon the point that you know that you need career development support, upon the moment that you realize, I have a question that I can't answer by myself. I have a question that goes beyond Google. I have a question that I really need some insight into right now. You want to take immediate action on that, because the market is volatile. And you know this because the price of gas went up, the price of eggs went up, the price of daycare went up, your rent going up, right? And so this is why it's important when it comes to your career to take immediate action, because yesterday's strategy is not today's strategy, right? And this is why it's important to have contemporary career development support, right? Not what your auntie, cousin, mama, best friend, nephew who used to work in HR told you. Because typically they don't know what they're talking about. They're not reading the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics every day like I am. They're not up on the most recent career development trends, right? I'm an expert. I do this, right? And so I really want to invite you to step away from outdated templates, to step away from, bad advice, and to really lean into a strategy that's going to yield results in your career development, right? So back to the I am statement. The purpose is to position you for outcomes, right? And so once we get that idea in our head, right, we understand that I need to position for outcomes. Now we can start to talk. Now we can start to build the statement. So this is where the work comes in. Grab a pen, grab a paper, right? Grab something to write with. I don't want you to do this in your brain. I want you to do it on a piece of paper so that you can walk away with it. I want you to think about what's the most impactful work that you've ever done. What think about one singular thing. I don't want you to think about over the course of your career. Don't make it too complicated, girl. Think about what's one significant thing that you've done in your career. Maybe it's one specific project you're thinking about, one specific program that you put on, one specific initiative that you completed, one specific project that you launched. Think about one specific thing that you've done over the course of your career, right? Think about that, and think about what you did and what the outcome was, right? Think about one specific thing that you've done over the course of your career. Maybe it was a program you launched. Maybe it was a service you provided. Maybe it was an initiative your boss asked you to do. Maybe it was a product that you launched. Maybe you helped with a nonprofit event. I don't know. Like, whatever it is, think about one significant thing that you've done over the course of your career. Think about what the thing was, what you did, and the outcome of said thing, right? So that's what I want you to focus on. And here we are focused on building this $30,000 sentence. But in order to build the sentence, we need to be able to think about what we've done over the course of our career, because this sentence is about outcomes. Let me give you an example. I work with a lot of mentees in the nonprofit sector, right? I serve a lot of women in nonprofit, whether that's healthcare or community-based programs or whatever. I serve a lot of women in nonprofit, and a lot of my mentees who work in nonprofit spaces work a lot with like volunteers, right? So they, somebody in the community, or the community needs something, or they have a community center or whatever, and maybe you manage. I have one mentee who manages volunteers, right? And so one of the most significant things that has ever happened over the course of her career is that she manages volunteers and interns to do a specific thing. So she managed about 30 interns. She selected the interns, she onboarded them, she trained them. She taught them how to do their job. She taught them how to do assessments with the community. And then she, took those assessments and improved the internship program over time, right? So this is a very common thing that women in the nonprofit space do. And I'd love to know, just drop in the chat, what industry are you in? Are you in government? Are you in education? Are you in the tech industry? Just drop in the chat what industry you're in, and I can start to think about some relevant examples for maybe your industry. I serve women in the healthcare industry. I serve women in corporate. I serve women in nonprofit. Like I shared, I serve a lot of women in education. So just drop in the chat what industry you're in, and we can start to think about some examples of demonstrated experience that maybe you've had. Okay, so let's take clinical research. I serve a lot of people who work in research. So in clinical research, maybe one big project that you've worked on is that you led a research project, right? Maybe you did, you secured the grant, you secured, people to work on the grant. Maybe you secured all the additional researchers. You did the background research. You published a draft. You had your draft reviewed. You submitted a final draft, it was published, and maybe you did a presentation on your public outcomes. I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. That's what you need to do. You need to be able to identify something specific that you've done in your career and identify what you did, what the project was, what you did, and what the outcomes were. Right? So I see some folks who work in fashion. I'm seeing some folks who work in healthcare. Some folks who work in tech. I serve a lot of women in healthcare. So let's take that as an example. I have a mentee who works in healthcare, and a big part of her work is patient intake, right? So she had to lead a big, implementation of a new software for patient intake. So she attended trainings to learn about the software. She developed an FAQ on how to use the software for other people. She developed trainings for her colleagues on how to use the software. She developed new patient-facing documentation for software implementation. She talked to patients about how to use the new software to do patient intake. She troubleshooted with the tech company how to do the patient software intake process, right? And then she evaluated new clients as they use the software. So again, I want you to write down some significant thing you've done over the course of your career, right? And what you did and what the outcome was. If this is making sense, just give me a yes in the chat. Yes, Ashley, this is making sense. Yes, I understand this. Yes, I understand. To build my $30,000 sentence, I need to be able to think of something significant I've done, what I did, and what the outcomes was. Just drop a yes in the chat if this is making sense. I want to make sure that it's making sense. If you need an example, like if you're like, I need an example, just write the word example in your industry and I'll give an example. If you are not understanding what I'm talking about, if you're like, Ashley, I'm struggling with this, just type I have a question and type your industry and I'll share an example. But it looks like most folks are understanding, so we're good. So I think we're good to go. But if you still have a question about it, just type, I have a question, and list your industry, and I will walk through an example for you. But the key to this $30,000 sentence, right? The key to this sentence is your ability to clearly understand what you're good at. Because the key is to communicate what you're good at and the outcomes of what you're good at to an employer, right? So much of the reason why professional women are not successful and are not making the money that they desire is because they are not well positioned in the marketplace. They're not able to speak to their skill set. I was just reading a statistic from one of my friends on the internet. Her name is the Broke Black Girl. If you don't follow her on Instagram, you should. Her handle is the Broke Black Girl. She was talking about how the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics put out a statistic a couple years ago, so it's a little dated, like 2 years ago, that talked about, on average, women in the United States single women in the United States make about $41,000 a year, right? This is significantly lower than it should be. On average, single men in the United States make about $58,000 a year, which means that single black women, and let me be very clear, single black women in the United States make about $17,000 less than their white male counterparts. Let me say that again. In the United States, this is a statistic that I picked up from the Broke Black Girl. She's a friend and someone who I follow on social. She put out a statistic recently from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's about 2 years old, but it said in 2020, Black women were making about $41,000 a year annually. This is about $17,000 less than their white male counterparts, right? This is a significant problem for me as a Black woman, because I know that Black women are skilled immensely, are knowledgeable immensely, and women in general are knowledgeable immensely, but so often we're making significantly less than our male counterparts. And so it's critical that we understand this, right? That we understand that we're making less, and we start to position ourselves to make more over the course of our career. On average, in working with me, my mentees secure a $30,000 salary increase after working with me. Right? And so my mentee who comes to me making about $40,000 a year leaves making about 70, right? And on average, I would say my mentees are a little bit higher earners. So on average, women come to me making about $50,000 a year, and they leave me making over 80, right? Like, that's the promise that I make to my mentees. And so it's critical. Like, this is data. This is statistics. This is publicly available information. I'm not making anything up here. Like, you need to be making more money. You're not making more money. If you're making about $40,000-$50,000 a year, you're making significantly less than you should be in this market. To sustain this market, to pay your student loan, to pay your car note, to pay your rent, to pay your bills, on average, a U.S. citizen in this country, in this day and age, in 2022, needs to be making about $80,000 to be on par, right? That's on par. That ain't even accounting for savings and investing and that other stuff that we supposed to be doing as adults, right? You need to be making at least $80,000. And that's why mentorship is so powerful, because my mentees leave me making about $80,000 a year, especially when they come to me starting about $50,000 a year. Right? And so it's critical that you're making more money, right? You likely know that. But then the answer is how, Ashley. The how is in your ability to articulate your skill sets at a higher level. You don't need another degree. You don't need another credential. You don't need more training. What you need to do is learn how to speak about the work that you do in a way that's going to make employers take notice and pay you top dollar. The skills that you have are enough to make more money. Your positioning, your ability to speak to those skills are what's lacking. Right? And so in today's live, in the $30,000 challenge, we're focused on first speaking to that skill set. All right. So now we're going to build this sentence. So I'm going to pull up a slide. I'm going to share a slide on my screen, and we are going to build this sentence together. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to read the sentence to you, and then I'm going to pull it up on the screen. So this is the I am statement. This is the $30,000 sentence, baby. This is where the money is. This is where it is. And I'm so excited to share this with you. I'm going to read it from my screen, and then I'm going to share it on my screen in front of you. So you don't have to try to furiously take notes or screen cap or whatever. You don't have to do all of that. I'm going to post it right here in the live. But first, I'm going to read it to you. So the statement says, my name is blank. So this is where you'll put your name. My name is Ashley. You put your name. I am a blank, right? So you want to put your level, right? Typically, I invite my mentees to put, I'm a mid-level, I'm a senior level, whatever level they are in. I'm a mid-level, I'm a senior level. So I am a blank level professional, who works in healthcare, who works in finance and auditing, who works in clinical research, who works in nonprofit, right? So you're going to put your name, the level that you are, mid-level, senior level, whatever level you are, and your industry, right? With demonstrated expertise in strength 1, strength 2, strength 3. So we're going to write out the things that you're good at. My name is Keyshawn, and I am a mid-level healthcare professional with demonstrated experience in patient patient care, patient intake, and high level of client or patient services that involve family, right? And so you want to speak to the things that you're good at. You want to speak to the strengths that you have, the outcomes that you have related to the work that you do. Then you want to provide an example of this work. So again, this is where the transformation happens. This is the difference between your resume sitting on somebody's desk and getting slid to the trash, or being scrolled past and gone to the next, and you actually getting a call back for the interview, right? So this expertise is evidenced by my work with blank, where I did blank, right? So this work is evidenced by my work with SUNY healthcare facility, where I helped more than 3,000 students or 3,000 patients receive client intake in record time in 2021. Right? So you want to be able to speak to what you do and the impact that it has. It's not enough to just say, I help patients. It's not enough to just say, I help students. It's not enough to just say, I help clients. It's not enough to just say, I rang the register. You need to be able to say what you did and the outcome that it brought, right? In addition to this work, I also have demonstrated my ability to solve problems related to strengths 4 and 5. So you want to be able to identify about four to five things that you're good at, 4 to 5 things that you specifically can do. And you want to share those, and then you want to commit to or communicate the fact that these are challenges that this organization has as well. And this is a really beautiful thing to do, because again, anytime an employer posts a job description, anytime an employer says, hey, we're hiring, they're saying, hey, we have this problem. All a job posting is a list of an employer saying they have a problem. And your job as a job seeker is to say, oh, I see you have this problem, i.e. this bullet point. I've solved that here. And here's an example. Oh, you have this problem you posted this job, which has this problem. I've solved that problem in the past. Here's an example. Your job is to communicate that you solved the same problems that they already had. The problems that they have today, you solved that problem in the past, and give them an example, right? And so you want to relate to them by saying, I understand this is a challenge your organization has as well. I've done that kind of work before. Here's an example. And I look forward to leveraging these same skill sets in your organization. Right? And so I know that's kind of a lot to throw at you. You're like, okay, Ashley, I'm trying to write this down. I'm trying to make it relate. So I'm going to pull up an example of the I am statement, and we're going to walk through it again here. The I am statement framework, it's right here on the screen. My name is, so you would say, my name is Bree. I am. And Bree and I have been talking in the DM. So I know that Bree, I believe you work in healthcare. Let me know if I'm remembering that correctly. I think so. You worked in healthcare. So my name is Bree, a mid-level healthcare administrator with more than 17 years of experience in patient care, in high quality patient care, right? Let me know if that resonates with you, Bree. If that sounds like who you are and what you do, let me know. Yes. Okay, wonderful. So Bree, the first sentence is already written for you. Hi, my name is Bree. I'm a mid-level healthcare professional with more than 17 years of demonstrated experience in high quality patient care. Does that sound like who you are and what you do? If so, give me a yes. I want to make sure that resonates. And then I'd love to do another example. I saw Katie in here, nonprofit case management. So let's use you. So you would say, my name is Katie. I am a senior level professional with more than 7 years of nonprofit case management, serving more than 300 clients and families each year, right? Katie, that's an example of what I would say for you. Alexis Loves Plant says she works in corporate HR and learning and development. So for you, Alexis, I would say, hi, my name is Alexis. I'm a mid-level human resource professional specializing in training and development of internal employees with more than 4 years of experience in training and development, developing new hires, developing promotional plans for our existing employees, and doing doing employee, management, doing employee, what do you call it when you like manage somebody out? Employee performance management of poor performers, increasing our retention rate by 12% and processing out poor performers in record time, right? So you want to be able to speak to your expertise in a very quick in specific way, right? So Felicia said so your early career, right? So Felicia, you would change, clinical research. Okay. So you would say, hi, my name is Felicia. I am a early career, professional, in clinical research, where I, help institutions leverage, clinical results to solve community-based problems, right? So that's how you would say that. Or, and if you need to switch some of the adjectives, you can adjust them. And let me know if that was helpful to you, Felicia, to hear me say it out loud. Alexa says, that was perfect. You're welcome. I do this. This is what I do. I'm a professional. Very good. Okay, good. All right. So beauty is a core. Bree, you got that too. Wonderful. So for those of you who I didn't do live, I want you to write down what that would look like for you. Fill in your name, the level that you are, maybe your early career, maybe you're a mid-level, maybe you're a senior level professional, and speak to your industry and the outcomes that you do. That was great. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm here to serve you. Good. So we're understanding this. This is making sense to us. If this is making sense, throw some hearts up on the screen. I just want to make sure this is resonating. This is making sense. We're not just going to let this sentence stay in our little notes. I'm going to give you an activity to do at the end of the live today so that you can actually learn how to do this, and you're going to publish it to Instagram. We are not just doing this as a cute little exercise. We're going to actually implement this strategy so that you can make more money. My mentees implement. Right? My mentees implement. They don't just, Aya actually taught me something, I'm just going to put it in my notebook and sit on it for 4 months. We don't have time for that. The market is volatile. We need to move quickly. Immediate action. One of my core values is take immediate action. That's one of my core values. I'm going to pass on my core value to you. Take immediate action. As soon as you learn something, do something about it. Don't learn something and sit on it. At the end of this live, you are going to write this out and you're going to say it on Instagram. You don't got to publish it to your full page, but you're going to say it in your stories. Y'all on Instagram. Y'all know how Instagram work. You're going to say it out loud to Instagram so the girls know what you're good at. I don't care if you're a future employer on Instagram or not. You're just going to tag me so I can review it and give you some feedback. Right? So I want you to practice this. This is not just a cute little live for you to see how I do it. I want you to practice it so you can make more money at work. All right. So now we're going to go into the things that you're good at. Right? So I have demonstrated experience in strength 1 and strength 2 and strength 3. For you, maybe it's, I have demonstrated experience in high quality patient care and in, working with, patients and families on the cardiac floor, to support, improved, cardiac function, for patients over 50. I don't know. Right? I don't know exactly what you do, right? But you know what you do, and you need to be able to talk about what you do in a higher level than I help patients and I just be trying to support them. Girl, nobody's paying you more money for that. Nobody is paying you more money for that. And let me give you a beautiful example. My mentee, Shawaka, she works in healthcare. She was a floor nurse for many years. She came to me and she was like, Ashley, I can't be on the floor no more. I'm tired of being on the floor. I'm tired of picking up patients. I'm tired of bedpans. I'm tired of that. I need a job where I can sit at a desk. I still want to work in healthcare. I still want to help patients, but I need to be off my feet. Right? And so Shawaka joined the Mentor Me Accelerator, and I taught her how to speak about her skill set at a higher level than just I help patients. Shawaka was able to secure, I think it was like a $22,000 salary increase and a $10,000 signing bonus. I think it was a $32,000 salary increase with the bonus after she was said and done in less than 8 weeks through the Mentor Me Accelerator. And she started with this sentence. She started with this. Right? This is the foundation. And so I really want to invite you to take this seriously. I want to invite you to take your career seriously. And I want to invite you to learn how to speak to your expertise at a higher level, because this sentence is powerful. This is truly a $30,000 sentence. And I want you to learn this sentence so you can learn how to speak to your skill set in a more impactful way. Alrighty. So, okay, let's go to the next part of the sentence, which focuses on the outcomes, right? So now we've got the strengths. We can talk about what we're good at. Now you need to be able to say this expertise is evidenced by my work with blank, right? So, and this is really powerful because a lot of people, when it comes to talking about what they're good at, they're like, yeah, I'm good at this. And then they stop talking. That's not enough. It's not enough to just say what you're good at. You need to provide an example. So in that same example where I was talking about healthcare, this expertise is evidenced by my work with patients on the cardiac floor, where I have a higher turnover rate of patients moving out of ICU and into regular beds, a 30%, patient care, increase over the last year, right? Right. Or maybe, you work in nonprofit and you can say that, I have a caseload of over 300 clients and I'm able to help my clients, see a higher rate of returning to, not using our services after 3 months, because I'm able to help connect them with other community-based services, and they no longer have to rely on our emergency services after 90 days of working with me in case management. Right? It's not enough to just say, I help clients in case management. You need to be able to say the outcome, the impact of your work in case management. Right? If you work in emergency case management and you got the same 300 clients after a year, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're not helping anybody. If you work in emergency case management and they still every problem they have is still emergent after 90 days, you ain't doing nothing there, sis. You need to be able to move cases in and out of your service. They need to be able to be better, think faster, be able to be better at, managing their own problems so they can use other resources in the community. If you work in emergency case management and you still have the same clients you had 3 months ago, you're bad at your job. And that's not shade. It's just the fact that if you work in I've been to the emergency room before. The emergency room, they deal with emergencies. If you're in emergent pain, they're going to deal with your emergent issue. They're going to send you to your primary care physician. You are bad at emergency care if you still got the same emergent client 4 days later. They should be moved to a regular bed or ICU or somewhere. They should still be with you. It's the same in your work. If you got the same problems, the same clients, the same projects, the same programs that you had 3 months, 6 months, 8 months, 3 years ago, and you ain't seen no outcomes, that's a problem. And so for so many of you, you all are great at your jobs, but you're really terrible at talking about outcomes. You need to improve your ability to talk about outcomes. That's what is going to help you make more money at work, right? So this experience is evidenced by my work with, by my work in finance, where I was able to take on 7 new accounts and ensure that their financials were balanced by the end of the year at a higher rate than all of my counterparts, right? You need to be able to say that. If you cannot say that, that's why you're not getting the call back. That's why you're not getting the job offer. That's why when you are getting the job offer, you're getting lowballed. You need to be able to speak to your ability to drive outcomes. World Lady J said, woo, this is good. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So if this makes sense, just say yes. Yes, it makes sense, Ashley. Yes, I'm understanding. Yes, I understand. I need to talk about outcomes. It's not enough to just say, I help people. I'm a team player. I'm a hard worker. You need to be able to talk about how your hard work drove outcomes and what outcomes it drove and what percent increase and what percent decrease. And you need to be able to talk about that. Outcomes, beauty is her core said. Yes. Felicia, it's making sense to Felicia. It's making sense to Bree. It's making sense to Royal Lady J. Okay, wonderful. Yes. Lady Hawk 1981 said it's making sense. Wonderful. We are on the same page. Katie said yes. This is the difference. This is why my mentees, this is why you see me yelling, she got the job, this is why. Because my mentees know how to talk about outcomes. We're not talking about, well, yeah, I helped this person and I did this and I've been there for 17 years and I got a master's degree. We're not talking about that. We're talking about outcomes. I did this and then this happened. I did this and my organization is better for it. I did this and these are the results. That's what employers are looking for. They're looking for results. If you cannot speak to the results, then you are not going to get hired. And if you do get hired, they're going to pay you pennies. You can't afford to make pennies. You can't afford to make pennies. You need to be able to make more money. And the way to make more money, this is the $30,000 sentence. So let's go on into the rest of the sentence. So after you demonstrate one outcome, we're just going to demonstrate some more, right? In addition to this work, I also have demonstrated abilities in number, strength number 4 and strength number 5, right? You gonna hit them with the 1, 2, 3. I'm good at this, this, and this. Here's an example, baby, but I'm also good at this and this. It's not enough to just say, well, yeah, I'm good at this. This is what you're hiring me for, right? You need to be able to give the girl some examples, girl. Give the girl some, give them something to tantalize. When you see a job posting, they don't just list one bullet point and be like, please apply. They got about 40 bullet points on there. So why are you saying, well, I'm good at this, please hire me? You need to give some more examples. When you see a job posting, they don't just have one bullet. So why do you have one example of what you're good at? When you see a job posting, they have more than one bullet point, right? So you need to have more than one example of what you're good at. I invite you to follow this exact framework. Strength 1, strength 2, strength 3. Then give an example. Then you go on strength 4 and 5. And this is where the magic happens. Strength 4 and 5. Then you say challenges I understand your organization faces as well. Right? So now you're not just saying, oh, I'm good at this and that. You're saying, and I know y'all got the same problems over here. Let me give you an example. So for my mentees who work in HR, right? So you might say example 4 and 5 might be, let me be very specific. So so this print is small. Y'all gonna have to give me. I gotta get close. Okay. So in addition to this work, I also have demonstrated ability to solve problems in, let's say, employee retention and employee rewards and benefits. Employee retention and employee benefits. Challenges that I understand your organization faces as well. Right? So every company, every single company, everybody that's ever had a business ever has been worried about employee retention, retaining their good employees and rewarding and recognizing their good employees. Every company has those challenges. If you work in HR, you need to have skill sets in those areas, especially if you want to work in training and development. Right? So you need to be able to say, in addition to this work, I also have demonstrated, I have demonstrated the ability to solve problems in employee retention and employee rewards and benefits, challenges I understand your organization has as well. So this is not just about, please give me a job, master. I really want a job. Please help me out. It's like, oh, I have skill sets in this. I heard y'all got some problems in that area. This is where it's really, this is the difference. This is the difference in you getting hired, and this is the difference in you sitting around waiting for somebody to call you back. Because so much of your approach to job seeking is, oh, I hope they give me the job. I hope I'm the right fit. I hope they pick me. I really hope they consider me. I hope stop hoping and praying and start letting these companies know, I have skills and I heard y'all got problems. What's up? Now, obviously we do it in a little bit more polished and approachable way. So, but that's the genesis of it. That's the nexus of it. That's the core. Stop acting like them interviewing you is them doing you a favor. You're doing them a favor. They need to hire somebody. Why not you? But it won't be you unless you can speak to your skill set in a way that's actually going to make the employer take notice. Right now, so much of the way you approach your career is, I hope they pick me. I hope they hire me. I hope they consider me. I hope I'm good enough. Instead of being like, I have these skills. I heard you have those problems. How can I help you? How can I help your organization be better with my skill set? That should be your approach to job searching. How can I help you? What Chick-fil-A say? May I help you or whatever? Like, how can I help you? That should be your approach. And I see the hearts popping up on the screen, so I know this is resonating with you. But let me be clear. You can't come with this main character energy. If you like, I help people, I'm a team player, I'm a hard worker. Don't come with no main character energy if you can't speak about what you're good at. You have to be able to talk about what you're good at. Right? You have to be able to talk about what you're good at. You need to be able to speak to what you're good at. Do not come to an employer with main character energy trying to get a $30,000 salary increase talking about, I help people, I'm a team player, I'm a hard worker. That ain't gonna cut it. You need to be talking about outcomes. You need to be talking about deliverables. You need to be talking about measurable outcomes and your ability to help this organization solve its problems. And let me be very clear. A lot of you have the skill sets. You have the skill sets, but you're so poorly positioned and so poorly articulated that you continue to be in a role that is overworking you and underpaying you. But I invite you to join and commit to the $30,000 challenge and be positioned at a higher level. It's available to you. It is this $30,000 sentence. This is the magic right here. This is what has helped my mentees earn more than $1 million in salary increases and rate. This is the foundation. It don't end here, but it starts here. It starts right here. And then you let them know, I look forward to bringing the same skill set to your organization. I look forward to helping you girls as well. I do this and I can help you do it too. This is it. This is what it is. No more, please hire me. I hope you consider me. I hope I'm a top candidate. You just say, this is what I'm good at. I understand you all have some gaps around that. I look forward to bringing my skill set to you all as well. That's it. And so now let's look at a real life example, right? Now, I know we're talking about a $30,000 challenge. That's the challenge we're in over the next 3 days, today, tomorrow, Thursday, a $30,000 challenge. I'm going to be teaching you foundational skills to position you for a $30,000 salary increase in 3 days. This celebrates the 3rd year anniversary of Mentor Me. I've served hundreds of women, helped them earn more than $1 million in salary increases and raises. And for the next 3 days, I'm going live in a challenge to help women in my community do the exact same thing. So I want to introduce you all to one of my mentees. Her name is Patty. She is a part of the Mentor Me Accelerator program. She joined the program, found and secured a new role within 8 weeks. And actually, Patty earned more than $80,000. She secured more than an $80,000 salary increase, right? So like, I mean, I'm only positioning 30 here with y'all. We in a $30,000 challenge, not an 80. So Patty is an overachiever, right? Like she secured an $80,000 salary increase, but on average, my mentees see about 30. And I'm a woman who operates in integrity. I know that this sentence can get you an $80,000 salary increase. I know it can because it has for my other mentees. But on average, my mentees see about 30. So I ain't gonna be like, well, yeah, $80,000. Yes, that happened for one mentee. And I'm going to show you her example. But on average, my mentees see about a $30,000 salary increase. And I know that, 80 would be great, but you're like, Ashley, I'll take the 30. So let me share with you Patty's I am statement. This is actually her actual statement. I had my staff pull this right out of our learning portal that we use for my program. And this is actually Patty's statement. I'm going to have to get close to the screen to read this to y'all. I got my contacts in today, but I'm going to read it to y'all so y'all can see. This is an actual example from one of my mentees. Her name is Patty. I will post Patty's testimony. Patty went live with me a couple months ago, and she talked about the Mentor Me Accelerator and what she learned from me and how she secured this $80,000 salary increase. So I'll share that in my stories later today so y'all can check it out. It's also in my feed. If you want to scroll on my feed and just look for Patty's name, you'll see it there. This is an example of Patty's I am statement. So she says, my name is Patty, a mission and identity driven leader in the education nonprofit sector that leverages qualitative and quantitative data to narrate a strategic forward thinking vision for program optimization. I am an expert. You see that? Patty talks about how she's an expert. She talks about how she's an expert. A young, I think Patty's maybe right around 30. She's maybe in her late 20s, early 30s, maybe. She's a young woman, a married woman. She has one child, a Latina woman, right? She didn't shrink. I help people. I, sometimes help out. And she said, I'm an expert, because she is an expert. She was an expert before she came to me. I helped her talk about her work like the expert that she is. But she was an expert before she came to me. You are an expert. Now, right now, at work, in your living room, in your car, wherever you're watching this live, you're an expert. The difference between you and Patty is that you're not talking about yourself as an expert, and you haven't yet made an investment in yourself to be positioned as an expert. But I hope today's live invites you to make that investment in yourself through the Mentor Me Accelerator program like Patty did, so you can learn how to speak about yourself like an expert and start making more money in your career. So Patty says, I'm an expert in cross-functional collaboration with a strong ethical compass, which has served me well in showcasing positive visibility for my organization by increasing intern program and participation by 12%, right? And you see the numbers there. You see the data, right? She didn't just say, I help interns. I onboard interns. I hire interns. She talked about the percent increase that her interns saw year over year. You can no longer say, I help people and people were very happy. That's not enough to secure the $30,000 salary increase that you so righteously deserve. You deserve it. Your deserving is not on question here. Your skill set is not on question here. It's your ability to talk about what you deserve in a way that's going to make somebody want to pay you more money. This paragraph helped Patty secure an $80,000 salary increase. What I invite you into is just the 30,000 is just my average. Many of my mentees make way more money than that. They earn more than $30,000 after working with me. Patty is a beautiful example of that. She secured an $80,000 salary increase. But what I want to just invite you into the average. I know you above average, girl. I know. I'm just saying, like, 30K is the average. So if you can just get to average, wonderful. Okay. So Patty said, achieve through streamlining program processes and procedures that cause roadblocks to program growth. So she helped a future employer understand that I've been doing this. And this is what helps decrease roadblocks to program growth. Every organization wants to grow. Every organization wants to further develop. Every organization wants to win. And if you can help them see how you helped another organization win and how you can help them win, you're going to be the preferred candidate. You're going to be the top candidate. You're going to get the salary increase. You're going to get the offer. That's the difference, right? Patty went on to say, I engage internal and external stakeholders with complex objectives by actively listening and managing expectations in order to achieve organizational internship recruitment efforts. And I look forward to bringing these same skill sets to your organization. Patty was able to clearly, confidently, and concisely articulate her skill sets to an employer, make them take real notice of her and her skill sets, and showed how she drove outcomes. She didn't just say, I collaborated. She said, I collaborated and this was the outcome. She didn't just say, I help people in the community. She said, I help internal and external stakeholders. And because I do that, I'm able to do this thing, right? You need to be able to speak about outcomes. And that is the difference between a resume template that you can buy for $50 from some other career coach who don't really know what they're doing and the $30,000 salary increases that my mentees see. This is the difference. And this, in my programs, my strategies, the Mentor Me programs are a difference maker. We are in the $30,000 challenge, and I invite you to take the challenge by recording a video of you sharing your own I am statement on social and tagging me at Ashley Ashire. I want you to take this seriously. Take this seriously. There's money on the table. There is money on the table, and I invite you to pick up the money, take action, and prepare to pick up the money, right? So I'm going to stop sharing this photo for just a second and invite you to really take action in your career. This is a $30,000 challenge. This is not just me teaching. This is a challenge, which means I'm inviting you to take action in the challenge. I want you to just go to your stories, press a little button, say, hi, my name is blank, and start your I am statement. It doesn't have to be perfect. It don't have to be polished. You don't got to edit it. Just get on there and talk and tag me so I can review it and give you some feedback. Yes, you're going to do it in public. No, I don't want you to DM it to me. Don't send it to me privately. No, girl, we making money in public. We're going to make more money in public. We're going to stop hiding and shrinking and doing all that. We're going to make more money in public. We're going to make more money in public. Say it with me. We're going to make more money in public. And I invite you to take the $30,000 challenge, record you saying your I am statement, post it to your stories, tag me. I'm going to review it. I'm going to give you some feedback. And together we're going to work on this $30,000 statement, this $30,000 sentence, your ability to speak to your expertise in a meaningful way so that we can position you for the $30,000 salary increase that you desire. This is foundational. This is step one. This is day one. This is the first thing that I teach my mentees in my programs. And this is what drives results for the women that I work with, right? That example that you just saw from Patty, that helped her secure an $80,000 salary increase. On average, my mentees see about a $30,000 salary increase from this foundational statement. And now is a time for you to take that statement and do the work in it to actually see results in your career. I am so excited to help you. I am so excited to see you drive results in your career. And I'm so excited to help you make more money and have more impact in your career. Take the challenge. Make sure you, again, just go. You don't have to go live. You don't got to post it to your feed and have it be there forever. Just post it in stories. Hi, my name is. Start your I am statement. Post it to your stories. Tag me at Ashley Shire so I can see it and know you did it. And take day 1 of the 30K challenge. I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with day 2 of the challenge, where I will be teaching you how to identify high paying jobs. But you know what? You can't start looking for jobs, girl, if you don't know what you're good at. Don't start looking for no jobs until you can speak to what you're good at. Because you know what's going to happen? Somebody going to call you and then you're going to be, yeah, I help people. Yeah, I've been working in it. I got a degree. No, I got a degree. Don't come to day 2 until you did day 1. Don't come messing with me tomorrow on the live if you ain't did day 1. Gotta know what you're good at before you start looking for. And a lot of y'all, I'ma search for jobs. Girl, how are you gonna search for a job you don't know what you're good at? How you gonna search for a job you can't talk about outcomes? How you gonna search for a job you don't know what your strengths are? How you gonna search for jobs you don't know what improvements have happened at this organization over the last 3 years since you've been working there? If the organization looked just like it did when you started working there, that's a problem. And I know it don't. You just aren't well articulated. But today, I've been on live for 63 minutes teaching you how to speak to your skill set. So apply what you learned, get on stories. Hi, my name is, and start talking about what you're good at. Don't be so embarrassed that you gonna leave money on the table. Don't be so embarrassed that you're gonna leave money on the table. Well, I don't want nobody I'm searching for a job. They don't gotta know you searching for a job. They just see you talking about yourself. They see you talking about what you're good at. Who's mad at that but a hater? And if they're a hater, let them hate from where they are. Who mad at you talking about what you're good at? Never mind that. Let them be mad. Let you be paid. Okay, this is the end of day 1. Welcome to the 30K challenge. I'm so hyped. I'm so excited to see y'all apply these strategies. Go to your stories, do your I am statement, tag me in it so I can review it and give you some feedback. I'm so excited to help you. I'm so excited to help you make more money and have more impact. Thanks for watching today's live. See you tomorrow.